at the same time. Is this going to cut into your social life? Likely, but you need to pay the price if you want to make the gains. You want to make sure you limit your caffeine and your alcohol before you go to bed. These will disrupt your sleep physiology and interrupt that recovery process. Make sure you eliminate interruptions at night, such as telephones, cell phones, pagers, stereos, televisions, roommates, you name it, anything that you know of that can interrupt your recovery, interrupt your sleep. Make your sleep environment dark and cool. Get some additional window covering if necessary. Make the investment. Make the investment. Wash your bedding every week. Nobody wants to bed down in a smelly bed. Make your bed a comfortable place to go to at the end of the day. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to focus on the core exercises that we're going to do to become stronger and to gain mass, to become bigger. But first we want to warm up the body a little bit before we start tossing this iron around. So I want to give you a few options here. First option, and something you can alternate these or rotate these around, is just to get a simple jump rope. Jump rope is a great warm-up exercise. It can be the exercise activity itself. Working initially just to get a minute of continuous jumping will be a significant challenge for most people. So I know that you can get those at TidalBoxing.com, and they have a variety of ropes to work with. I like the leather ropes, and it's a really, really nice thing to have with you at all times. And then you can also utilize some of these body weight exercises that I'm going to demonstrate right now for you. One of my favorite stretches, and I learned from my friends at CrossFit, they call it the Samson stretch, where we're going to interlace the fingers and extend the arms above the head, taking a lunge step out with the thigh parallel to the floor, and then we're just going to hold it in this position. They work towards 30 seconds of continuous holds. You can work the back leg, the trail leg, move it backwards. You'll feel the stretch in the front of the hip and the hip flexors. And then we just hold that for a period of time. Come back to the start and alternate legs and switch legs. You can do this in a dynamic fashion as well. If you purchase some of the other tapes, you'll notice that we use this as part of our dynamic warm-up in the speed video, the Go Faster video. Okay, that's the first option right there. I really like that stretch to start out with. We'll then move to another stretch. These are called overhead squats or snatch grip squats. We take these from Olympic lifting, and it's a great exercise to warm up the lower extremity, again providing stretch in the upper body. I'm just using a simple broom handle right here. You can get an expensive dowel, but just get into your broom closet and take one of those handles out. And we're just going to keep the arms extended. The arms are in a bone-to-bone contact. You can see that by the way I'm holding this stick, if it was a weight, that I would be able to support this. If the bar gets too far forward, I'll lose it if it was loaded, or if it's too far back, I would lose it. So we want to keep it straight over the head. And then I'm just going to sit down in the hole, keeping my heels on the ground. And I can sit there and then do repetitions. I like to do anywhere from 5 to 10 repetitions of snatch squats or overhead squats. This will also tell you a lot about your relative flexibility. You'll see a lot of times athletes come down and their heels come off the ground. Really a great athletic movement to just do snatch squats right here. We'll move then to just standard push-ups. Hands will be slightly wider than the shoulders, toes on the ground, and we're going to lower our chest to the ground and repeat. Eyes are in front of the fingertips. keeping the core in a straight line. We want to avoid having the big rear end stick up in the air or letting the hips dip. That's a flaw in your push-up technique. You want it to be in a nice straight line from your shoulder to your ankle. Okay, there's some push-ups for us. A very important exercise and a good alternative exercise as well. I then like to do a few sit-ups, 5 to 10 sit-ups. Knees are bent, using no momentum to raise up. Hands are on the ears. If you're having difficulty with your sit-ups, you can reach behind the legs, use your hands to help bring you up. Your next progression would then be hands on the chest to sit up. And then finally, hands on the ears, an extreme sit-up, hands over the head to increase the difficulty. That'll be a nice little warm-up series. Repeat that 3 to 5 times. Sometimes in the winter, when it's cooler out or the gym that you're training in is colder, make sure that you have longer sleeves on, pants, and you can keep your core temperature up by wearing a stocking hat or a beanie. Okay, we'll move now to those core exercises. We've warmed up. We've got our water right there with us. Remember, because we want to have plenty of water throughout the day. Want to make sure that our gym environment is clean and that our equipment is safe. Over here for today's demonstrations, have a really simple setup. I talked about the inexpensive barbell setup. We'll talk a little bit about it. This is an ultralight setup right here, and we have a really nice bar with rotating collars right here. You can see I have some bumper plates on here today. You don't necessarily need bumper plates for it with your setup. And I have some spring-loaded collars that I'm using as well. These function really well. They're easy to get on and off. Your set that you'll get will have several different weights that you'll load on the bar, from 45 down to 2.5. That's a standard 300-pound set. That's plenty to start with. You can go back into any store across the United States or wherever you live and purchase additional weight for your setup. All right, so that's the bar that we're going to start with right here. Now, you want to try to get squat standards to perform your back squats, or the gym that you go to. You want to look for a gym with a squat rack or an area to squat in. Sometimes you'll go to a gym and they'll use Smith machines. It was a great idea on paper. I'm not a big fan of the Smith machine because your body does not move in a straight line with the Smith machine. Forces your body to move in a straight line. Your body moves in a parabolic path on squatting and also on benching. So it's okay to learn some things, but I wouldn't live in a Smith machine. I would look for a squat rack, squat standards with some safeties, with some areas to catch the bar should something not be just right that day. So today I'm going to look really strong on some of these exercises, but again, this is a bar that's lightly loaded. I would encourage you to also start with a bar that's lighter than you can handle initially as you're learning the exercises. All right, so we will progress right now to the squat, but a couple of things to talk about here on the squat. First thing, I mentioned the importance of that exercise, the cornerstone. You cannot gain mass or strength, total body strength, without working the back squat. There are squat variations off of it, but before you get anywhere else in the world, you need to learn how to back squat. Your goal is to be able to back squat 2 times your body weight in one